Hi, my name is Janice. I'm from the United States, and I've been volunteering with VCV for 3 months now.
My name is Simon. I'm from Switzerland, and I've been volunteering for VCV for about 6 weeks now.
My name's Jack. I'm 19 from England, and I've been here for about 3 months as well.
Hi, I'm Estella. I'm from New Zealand, and I've been here about a month and a half.
My name is Ty. I'm from America, and I've been volunteering for about 2 weeks now.
So throughout your time at VCV, what do you think has been the most exciting cultural exchange that you've experienced?
Every day is a cultural exchange, really.
just even talking to the Vietnamese volunteers who help out with us, just talking on a day-to-day basis about what goes on in their lives, as well as the sort of wider availability of going to the old quarter and seeing it so vividly for yourself. You can have a real discussion about anything openly about the Vietnamese lifestyle, and I think that's that one-to-one thing, spending a few months with the same people, is a really valuable resource to learn more about each other's cultures.
Yeah, I was gonna say the best conversations I have is on scooters. Being driven around by a Vietnamese member of VCV talking about Vietnamese life. That's probably the most intense cultural exchange.
It's so vivid, isn't it? You can smell everything so vividly, and you've got it's a whole complete sensory thing. It's so so intense, as you say. Janice, what about you?
Oh, I think that the food tours that we go on, like being able to see life through like someone from like Hanoi, from Vietnam, it's been like an amazing experience, you know? Have you guys volunteered with any other organizations, not just in Vietnam, but like in your life in general?
Well, I came here from voluntary experience back home in England, which was teaching English to refugees, and it's been a very different experience overall, but they both support each other. They both give you a real understanding of other cultures, other people's backgrounds, and how important a skill it is to be able to speak English.
Yeah. I never have before, and this was my first one, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I cannot teach English to people, but it's been so good. I've enjoyed it so much.
Yeah, same for me. It's my first volunteer experience, but it was a very great one, and I'm sure to do other ones in my coming life.
This is my second workaway, but this one definitely tops the last one by quite a bit. So.
Yeah, I think this sort of thing proves charity work, I think, and voluntary work, I think, is easy to think of as kind of graft and quite not miserable, but in that kind of, you're putting in extra hours for free, that sort of thing. But it shows that it can be just as enjoyable for the volunteer as to the people who actually helping out.
Yeah, it's been so much fun.
Yeah, I was so nervous about teaching because I'd never done it before. But then when I got here, it was like it was actually not as hard as I thought. So do you guys want to talk more about like your experience teaching? How's it been?
For me, it was the first time teaching classes. I have taught one-on-one tutoring back home. And I started off, my first 3 classes were not alone, but with someone who had more teaching experience, so I could learn a lot. And then my 4th lesson was alone. Already I was very capable of doing so since I had 3 lessons before.
After the first class, I felt at ease right away. I mean, obviously before it's a little nerve-wracking, but after that it's been really, really great.
And personally, I was quite worried before coming about the actual planning of the lessons and that sort of thing, because at the teaching work I'd done previously, there was I was more of an assistant type thing, so I didn't get involved in much of the actual planning. But the books are just so clear. You get provided with so much information, and both from the actual textbooks themselves and from the people, that it gets really easy really quickly.
So what a good games.
Yes.
Bring
Let's
back home.
stop the bus, hot seat, slap the board. Yeah, too many to count.
I love the diversity of classes here as well. I've taught kids from the age of 5, sort of doing the singing and dancing and etc. all the way up to adults and sort of businessmen and engineers and people who just want to learn English for their business sort of acumen. And so that's been really, really valuable as well, to be thrown into these kind of completely different classrooms on a week-to-week basis. Is completely thrilling and really, really enjoyable, and helps you build a variety of different skills in the classroom.
And I love like the range of classes. They still like the same games. Like, oh, the games are so fun. I love a good hot seat.
Oh God, I get more excited than the children.
Sorry, I'm always like, is it my turn?
Yeah, I feel like teaching here has been like great because there's a lot of diversity, but you still like a lot of classes you'll like have the same classes, so you really get to know your students and stuff.
So cute getting to know them.
So I feel like I was so scared that like when I got here I wouldn't have any friends or anything, but obviously all right, but yeah, I feel like when I got here everybody was so welcoming, and I think a huge part of that was like living with all the other volunteers and stuff like that.
So true.
like
It's helped so much.
yeah, how do you guys feel about, even though it's like kind of close quarters sometimes, and living with like 12, 14, 13 debatable other people, how do you feel like it has been like living with the other volunteers and like sharing all of our meals and most of our time together? How has that been for you guys?
It's been a joy. It really has. I mean, it's proved to me that I can live with anyone as well, and any number of people. You know what I mean? It's kind of, it's a really, I don't want to that sound negative or sarcastic, but genuinely, because it's just before personally going away to uni, which is a big thing, going to move somewhere else and live with strangers. I think if I can live with 15 people here, 6,000 kilometres from home,
rooms.
people can do anything. And it is every night there's something different on, whether it be a game or a movie night, or we go out somewhere. And
a lot of great chats.
we know each other extremely intimately by now, I would say, which is a lot. Yeah, it's always a lot of fun.
I was nervous that we'd be in a group of volunteers and I'd be like, we just do not get along, or these people are so different to me, but I feel like we all just click so well, and everyone's obviously like different backgrounds, different personalities, but it seems to work somehow.
I think it's just kind of a special situation. Everyone's here, everyone who is here wants to bond with people, everyone who is here wants to be open, find new friends, so I think that's what makes it work really, and that's why there's never really any interpersonal problems that we faced.
That's true.
Apart from blanket stealing.
Regardless of blanket stealing, I think you're right in that it works because everyone, no matter what the role in the organisation, whether teaching or even cooking or from Miss High downwards, we all have sort of a common goal, I think, and that is so incredibly important for the gelling and the bonding as a group. And it's really shown through.
It was also for me a bit scary before to know that I was gonna live with a lot of people in close quarters, but really proved to be a very great experience because you can bond a lot in a short amount of time if you spend all your time together.
And after 2 months of traveling alone, it's been great to be with the group again and making friends like this.
Bit of a culture shock, I imagine.
It's been weird.
Like before I got to VCV, like I said, I was really worried about teaching, and like my first class like that I taught, it low-key was like kind of bad. And so then I came back to the apartment and I was like, guys, I don't know if I'm cut out for this life, you know what I mean? But then everybody was so nice to me, and they were like giving me tips about how to improve it for my next class. So that was like what I was really nervous about, because I was like, what if I mess up like these kids' English for like the rest of their lives or something like that? But then I realized it's not that deep, and also it's like everyone is so supportive, and like it's really easy to see your faults as a teacher and improve on them, which I thought would be hard, but it's actually like not that hard.
Like you said, everyone there is such a great comfort as well, because everyone's got nightmare stories and then everyone's got really good techniques in games and etc. It's a real sharing thing.
How do you feel being a foreigner in Vietnam? Like, what has your experience been for that?
Mostly it's been very, very warm from people. Whether it's because they want to sell you something, or it's because or it's because it's a genuine warmth. I think it's mostly the latter. We've been to one of our Vietnamese co-workers. We went to her hometown for a festival. She served us a magnificent meal. So good. And just the generosity of spirit towards everyone. You encounter it absolutely every day. People just want to help you out.
Do anything to help, really.
Yes, 'cause it's a scary thing to come so far from home for Westerners, etc. And but there's no need to worry, even if you don't speak a word of the language, because just the sheer generosity and will to help is so strong, I would say, in Hanoi.
I was a little bit concerned, you're like traveling by yourself, you got to be everyone's like, oh, you got to be not so gullible all the time. I was like, okay. Yeah. But I got here and I just feel so comfortable. Being out at night feels fine. Walking around the streets, you feel safe. You don't ever feel I don't know, like creepy or alone or like something bad will happen. Yeah, so I've never really felt unsafe or like anyone will try to rob me or whatnot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Also, especially since we are not really in a too touristy area anyway, VCV, I've never felt in any way uncomfortable being alone around VCV at night. So, no concerns really.
Yeah. No, it's such a nice neighborhood actually.
Yeah. I feel like if you take like proper precautions, you know, and like just like make sure you always like have your stuff secure and like you don't really try to make yourself look like a target, you won't be, you know what I mean?
The thing I like about the area where we are, where VCV is that it's kind of out of the normal touristy bit, so you feel a bit more like you're a part of like the city and where everyone lives. And like you know, you get that look, like people will be like, "Ooh, Westerners, what are you doing here?" But yeah, I really like it, and everything's so near Big C. Got all the snacks.
That's the thing.
Kmart's open till 12.
That's the thing. Saying that we're quite far out, but in the same way, there's a gym, there's a swimming pool, yoga classes, the tallest building in Vietnam, as it stands, just over there. So you can go and have a look
for the
at
next
the
few
city.
months.
Beer Hoy as well, if you want to
Beer
go out
Hoy.
for a little drink in the evening, or there's countless food places, karaoke bars, billiards, all within a tiny walk. Bang Me Man.
Yeah, I feel like it's also like really easy to access like the touristy spots if you want to go, like especially Old Quarter. It's only like a bus ride away or a Grab depending on how you're feeling that day. But yeah.
And the bus is so cheap too, like 20 cents to go all the way to the Old Quarter.
Yeah, also I think Hanoi is a very good base for doing trips because it's right in the center of northern Vietnam, where you can do so many trips and never gets boring really. I think you can spend a lot of time here and always go on new trips, try new stuff. And really bond with a lot of people. Don't be afraid to commit to a long time.
So like for you guys, I know you said that living with other people really like made you ready for university and stuff. So what other ways do you think like VCV is kind of preparing you for whatever you may do next in life, whether it's like university or working a job or just life in general? How do you think, what skills do you think you'll take from VCV?
I quite enjoy the teaching.
That sounds so surprising.
Honestly.
I enjoy the teaching about this.
I do quite like it. I'm not sure if I could do it all the time, full time.
I think the only way you can ever make progress as a human being is to push yourself
So true.
into the deep water a little bit, out of your comfort zone. And I think it's just such an accelerated process. Within your first few days, you're in the classroom. You're in the flat with people. You know, 0 to 100 so quickly.
Yeah, after a few days, you feel like you're like a veteran. Sometimes.
Yeah, you really
I've
do.
got this.
Yeah, really true. But I also think part of the whole VCV experience is talking to a lot of new people. Also crossing a lot of cultural and language barriers with Vietnamese people, and I think that's also a life skill I'm definitely gonna make use of at home, to be able to connect to strangers or to people I don't know yet, which we practice really on a day-to-day basis at VCV.
That's so true.
What would you tell anybody that's interested in volunteering for VCV? Like any advice or like anything really important you want to share about this like community?
I feel like at least stay 2 to 3 months. I wish I could stay longer. Obviously, not enough space and demand.
She loves it so much she's gonna sleep on the couch tonight this day.
But no, I reckon that's definitely do it and stay as long as you can. Yeah, I feel like this experience has really made me want to like do more volunteering and different volunteering work, especially teaching. Like I've really enjoyed the teaching, and the kids are so cute.
I think teaching really is a very good way to connect to local culture. Since you talk to kids, and also teaching adults obviously is where you can talk maybe a bit more about their culture, etc. So I personally would definitely want to do another experience like this, maybe in another part of the world, to get to know a different culture just like I do now. It's definitely a very good start for a volunteering career.
I feel like the volunteering is so worth a good way to travel, you know. So like I did a couple of weeks just traveling through the country first before I came, and I've saved so much money being here, but also I feel like I've done so many different experiences you wouldn't usually do if you were just traveling straight through by yourself. You know, we've done a lot more like of the food tours, and we went to like Mayan's home village.
Yeah.
Just seen a lot more of a different side, maybe a more cultural side of where you are. So yeah, I feel like it's well worth the money.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There's no pressure to do it. It's not just sort of tick, 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 we'll move on to the next place. There's a kind of, you've got especially like you say, if you stay for months at a time, you've got room to breathe, you can explore the city, you get to know bits of it that you like, bits of it that you don't. You can get a really tailored personal experience.
And we have so much free time.
We do.
Yeah, to be able to go explore.
Yeah, I feel like VCV is definitely a fair exchange, in exchange for teaching at most like 2 or 3 hours a day. Then you get accommodation and meals, and you also get like the cultural aspect of it all. And because it's not just, I don't really feel like I'm like just being used just for a teacher, I really feel like I'm a part of like this community.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
I think for me the biggest payment, so to speak, that I get for teaching is the whole network that is provided to me with fellow volunteers and with other Vietnamese students or members of VCV that really enable me to connect to this culture in a way more intimate way than as I would live in a hostel and try to meet local people, which wouldn't be very easy. So I feel like we get more back than what we invest in.
I agree.
I really do.
We get to know the city in a different dimension, I think, and the people that we live with as well. Because if you're in a hostel, it's always just where are you from, how are you travelling, blah blah blah. Let's have a drink, see you later. And that, it's kind of you've got that much. It's just the relaxedness of it. I think that really contributes to the whole experience. It's really worthwhile because it builds your confidence and all that sort of thing. And the fact that it's a voluntary thing means that even if you don't enjoy it that much, or you struggle on occasion with the discipline or whatever aspect of it, then there's not that pressure there, because there's the pride of representing VCV, but there's not that pressure where if you'd gone into this as a full-time paid up career here, there's, and it's a really good stepping stone to get onto, whether it be teaching or anything in which you're presenting in front of people, anything like that. I would say it's really valuable.
Yeah, definitely.
And just like trying something new, I feel so good. Like I've never taught before, and it's definitely out of my comfort zone. And it's just cool to know that you can kind of like do it if you have to.
Yeah.